here. They obviously still have Tuck. The Giants they got plenty of defensive linemen, and they're going to continue to use it. So Washington up now. They traded down, and they're at this pick. Ryan Mallett is still on the board. Is that the way they go?
Big Ryan Mallett spot.
Yeah. I know they needed the quarterback. I feel maybe they go. I still feel like maybe they go Stanzi in the next round. So I'm going to take a shot at wide receiver. I think Torrey Smith might be the type of wide out that Mike Shanahan could covet. The size speed combo with him is something I think he could be intrigued by as a potential number one.
Well, they can get a good wide receiver later. They're not going to get a good quarterback later, I don't think.
That's true, but you have to wonder who else is going to if someone's going to jump up and take Mallett. I don't know if there's anyone else. Buffalo and Arizona aren't looking to take a QB. Then maybe you can wait a little bit. No, they don't have that third round pick. So yeah, that is a little bit tough situation. New Orleans has their third rounder. I forgot about that.
Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, we talked about all these teams that need quarterbacks, but now we've had 6 of them.
Yeah.
6 of them have addressed it. So.
The Bears have moved up. They've traded with the Redskins. So the Bears moving up. Had they see Austin go off the board and want to get their defensive tackle here in Paya?
Mr. Paya, yeah.
Yeah, that's my
guess.
Makes
sense to me.
All right, this Snapple was getting to me. I'll be right back, so you can cover us up here, Scott.
All right, I'll talk for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Stephen Paya makes a boatload of sense to me. Put him in as that 3 technique and that all-critical 3 technique position in Lovie Smith's scheme. But, I mean, I just think that I'm looking at my board and trying to figure out who else they would be looking. They already got their offensive lineman with Gabe Karimi, which was a great pick. Maybe a wide receiver. I fully expect the Bears to take a wide receiver at some point here in the first 3 or 4 rounds or so. I actually talked to someone on the Bears staff a few days before the draft, and they were busy gathering information on the wide receivers, trying to get a handle on where guys were going to go. So they definitely plan to take one at some point relatively early, so maybe they see somebody out there they like.
All right.
Mike Martz obviously can never have enough good wide receivers. Maybe a Torrey Smith, a Randall Cobb.
Yeah, I think Randall Cobb could be an intriguing fit for Mike Martz's offense. He doesn't always necessarily need those big guys, but someone that is a little bit more shiftier that can get in and out of placements. Randall Cobb could be a little reminiscent of a Torrey Hill type player.
What did the Vikings get for trading down? Did the Vikings trade down?
What's that?
Somebody asked in the chat room, what did the Vikings get for trading down? I don't believe they did trade down.
No, I don't think they traded down. Bears traded out. Let's see if I can find this trade. I don't know. Washington continues to add picks, though. It's the second time they moved down in this round. So, I think Randall Cobb could be an intriguing fit if they do go wide out. Mike Martz type receiver, but I think it has to be Paya. Seeing Marvin Austin go off the board had to have triggered the Bears.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's how you figure. But like I was saying too, I talked to somebody on the Bears coaching staff a few days ago, and they were gathering information, trying to get a handle on where the wide receivers were going to go. So they're definitely planning on taking one at some point.
Some point here. Steve Paya.
Very good pick.
Good pick. I think that's a very solid pick. That's, once again, they've addressed their 2 biggest needs: offensive tackle, defensive tackle. Got him in the first 2 rounds. Moved up to get their man, a guy that was on the early second round value, great value. I'll see what they gave up, but I can't imagine it was too much.
I'm a big fan of teams being aggressive. If you see a guy you want, identify you want, go get him.
And I think the best part about this is that the Bears actually called in the trade, which is a first for them in this draft.
And Stephen Pio was my highest rated player available, 33.
See? There you go.
Oh no, Brandon Harris. Excuse me, Brandon Harris is still there.
So let's see. The Bears traded 62 and 127. That was the fourth that they were going to give the Ravens from that first round to the Redskins.
And speaking of Brandon Harris, here we have the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock, and there was one point where we thought maybe Brandon Harris would be a possibility for them in round 1. Here they are at 54, and he's still there.
Yeah, I think it'd be a very interesting pick. I think it'd be a very interesting pick. They need someone opposite of Asante Samuel. The current player crop that they have is just not getting it done. I think Harris is he's so fluid in what he does. He uses his hips are very open. He gets down low. His back pedal is very nice. Not the biggest guy in the world. But I've always been impressed with him when I've watched him play.
Well, and I think, he lost a lot of fans in the drafting community after that game against Michael Floyd in the bowl game. But I don't think it was as bad. I mean, there were a couple plays maybe, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, I know on the one play he slipped.
If you're a corner, you're going to get beat at some point. You're not going to be perfect. If you want to fixate on it one game, you can do that. I've done that with other players, but which I know I shouldn't. But I feel like his body of work should be able to speak for itself to be a middle second round pick.
It's not like some no-name guy he was getting beat by. I mean, Michael Floyd's a first-round type talent.
Yeah.
So.
So who else? Who else? Yeah, for the Eagles. Who else could they pick here?
Johnny Patrick.
We think a corner. I'm trying to think what other positions maybe they could.
You never rule out defensive line with them, although I think the value there is getting a little sparse, maybe.
Yeah, defensive tackle.
Al Bailey.
Bailey, Marcus Wilson. I know linebacker is a big need. I know Andy Reid does not address it early. Marquez Wilson's still on the board.
I'm going Brandon Harris.
Harris would be a tremendous pick.
I tell you, the Washington continue to trade down now. It makes me, more than ever, I think, believe Mallett. I think they realized that there was nobody between there and 62 that was going to take Mallett. There weren't many teams that still needed him.
Right.
So
now they did jump below Seattle, but
that's true, yeah. Although I don't know if Seattle's serious about a quarterback. I think they want to bring back Hasselbeck, and I don't know that they're ready to admit they made a mistake on Whitehurst yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think they're going to stick with Whitehurst this year and see what they have in him before they make that decision.
Maybe get some developmental guy in the late rounds.
Yeah.
From the University of Wisconsin, the 7th overall pick of the 1992 draft.
Troy Vincent.
Former Eagles defensive back, Troy Vincent.
I like Troy Vincent.
With the 54th pick in the 2011 NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jaquan Jarrett, defensive back.
Nice.
A little bit of a reach, but
I like Jaquan Jarrett. I've had him in kind of in that second to third round. I think he's a late second, early third round pick. I was impressed with him down at the Senior Bowl. I think technique-wise, he's pretty solid. More of an in-the-box guy, but definitely a tough player. He's hard-nosed tackler, gets low, good technique, and I think he's a really nice complement to Nate Allen, who they got last year.
great intangibles too.
Yeah.
Good kid, good instincts, hard worker. Just not real big and not real fast.
Right. He doesn't exactly have the measurables, but he doesn't do too bad in coverage. Like I said, the technique's all there, and he's one of those hard workers. So, and I think safety was a need as well. I know, maybe Nate Allen covers that up a bit, but they definitely need some depth at safety. So, the Chiefs are up. Justin Houston's still on the board. Marquez Wilson's still on the board. I think they need that pass rusher opposite of I think, yeah, they sent a pass rusher opposite Tom Bahali.
I don't think they're taking Justin Houston.
No.
No, I don't think Pioli's going to take a guy who fails the drug test in the combine.
Character.
Mm-hmm.
So Viday in the chat says they need a center. He wants Rodney Hudson here.
I wouldn't argue about it.
No, I think Hudson would be a good pick. Kick him into center. You know, I like him. I'm off it a lot, but both probably more early third round selections. Let's see.
Obviously, I'm a believer that they need a right tackle, but there's nobody there.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone there who fits the bill. I don't think Alan Bailey would be a nice fit. They got their wide receiver. So I think interior O-line, pass rush. I don't think there's a nose tackle worth taking here.
No. Kendrick Ellis.
I'm talking about character.
Early three.
So,
yeah, that's true too.
So,
yeah.
You know, if we're not going to take Justin Houston, then we take Kendrick Ellis.
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen. I think maybe more in the
you're
third.
right.
What
Boy,
happened?
I know they took their receiver in the first round, but boy, I wonder if that was a mistake. Knowing what's available here now, they could have got a pretty good wide receiver.
Yeah, no one's here. DBS, what happened to the early James Brewer in the second talks? I don't know if James Brewer was ever a second round pick, but I think he's a solid third round right tackle.
Yep.
Yeah, I like his athleticism and what he brings to the table. Let's hear any other questions from the chat. Tom, once again, Marcus Cannon, probably not going to go this high after being diagnosed with lymphoma. He's probably going to be knocked down boards as more of a later round pick, so I don't think that's a possibility for the Chiefs here. I'm going to steer away from the chats. I imagine the pick's coming in pretty soon.
I tell you, this is tough.
Chiefs.
Surprise us.
All right.
Come on.
You got to introduce.
Oh, somebody's gonna be happy.
Oh, Rodney Hudson, there you go. There you go, Bidet. And he's cheering for joy in the chat room right now.
I like it. I love it. I love Rodney Hudson.
I hope he's cheering so hard he peed a little. That was, yeah, I like Rodney Hudson too. And he, definitely doesn't have that strength and that bulk. But you know what? He's he has a lot of awards. He's decorated. He's a player that's very athletic. They have him listed as a center when the Chiefs took him, so I think that's where they're going to use him. Dressed as a big need, solid player. I like the pick.
Yeah, I think it's a really good pick.
And here's a player that the weight was a big concern, and he packed it on for the Senior Bowl. He packed it on for the Combine. It wasn't good weight. We saw it. It was pretty bad. But it didn't really affect him. I didn't feel like it affected him in workouts. I feel like he still looked like the old Rodney Hudson. So to me, that's all that really matters.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And he showed he can be effective at a lower weight. Now, obviously, the defensive linemen are going to be bigger in the NFL, but he's learned to compensate, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So New England's on the clock with their second round pick. They have 3 this round.
They traded for a future first rounder.
Right. They got it from New Orleans. So
we got Alan Bailey still out there.
Alan Bailey's still on the board.
I mentioned Justin Houston.
Yeah, Houston. They still got the wide receivers. They want that deep threat. Torrey Smith, Martez Wilson.
Lots of options.
Lots of options. They got Razai Dowling and Nate Solder so far. So I don't know if they want the smaller wideout like a Cobb or Jernigan. I don't know if wideout's going to be the way they go. I'm trying to think who else. Well, here comes the pick.
Rodney
Shane Vereen, okay. I'm not a big Shane Vereen fan, but I can see the fit in New England. What do you